Mountain hunters stand alone in the big game hunting world as the toughest and most determined hunters alive. It's amazing what sheep and goat hunters have to endure as they climb the ever steeper mountains of the world. Most begin in North America and then move on to Asia and Europe. As the years pass, the mountains overwhelm some hunters and they simply settle for the gentler hunts. There are a relative few who continue year after year and expedition after expedition. For those rare individuals who have relentlessly pursued wild sheep and goats, exemplified the highest ethical standards, and committed themselves to the conservation of mountain game, there is the OVIS. There is no application process for the OVIS. Each recipient has already earned the respect of their peers for their accomplishments as both hunter and conservationist. Our 2014 recipient manifested these criteria to the highest degree. That recipient can be seen among the nominees whose photos you see on the screen. The recipient of the 2014 OVIS is Hector Cuellar of Mexico. Hector, please come to the stage. Hector Cuellar was born in 1931 in Mexico City. He's been extremely successful with his business of manufacturing industrial valves in Mexico as well as other countries around the world. He remains extremely involved in the business even today, but through the years has taken more than 350 different species and subspecies from around the world. He was presented with the Weatherby Award in 1986. Even though Hector has hunted every continent, there is no doubt this octogenarian has specialized in mountain hunting. Matter of fact, we've never presented the OVIS to anyone with mountain trophies approaching Hector's numbers. Why then is he becoming the 13th recipient of the OVIS? The answer lies in something we've already mentioned, and that is that Hector's been so involved with his business over the years. Frankly, he had a double knee replacement that slowed him down enough to begin thinking about his mountain hunting legacy. With a bit of nudging from GSCO and his family and friends, Hector slowly but surely pieced his mountain hunting career together in such a way to document it fully with GSCO. This process took 3 years of extremely intense work, considering the number of trophies that he had to identify and locate the corresponding documents. By the way, Hector's practically all of his trophies mounted life-size, so he'll be leaving quite a legacy in that regard as well. To date, Hector can count some 47 different trophy types from the OVIS list, and a total of 66 wild sheep have been documented. As for the Capra trophy list, he has documented an amazing 37 different ones from that list, and the total number of Capra he has documented is around 50. As mentioned, no other mountain hunter has documented numbers like these, and Hector continues to hunt. Of special note is the fact that after Hector's double knee replacement in 2011, at 80 years of age, he traveled to the Caucasus Mountains and took the only tour he didn't have, which was the Mid-Caucasian. Well, that tour wasn't big enough for Hector, so he went back in 2012 at 81 and got a bigger one to suit his way of doing things. With Hector having 47 different rams from the OVIS list, let's go there now and mention several of his rams. In 1997, he got the dwarf blue sheep from China. Matter of fact, he has hunted China a lot and has every argali to be found in that country and multiples of some. The Gansu, Sair, Tian Shan, and Littledale argalis will be within the photos that you're seeing here, but there are at least 2 argalis Hector has taken in China that were unknown even to the Chinese. For example, one you see looks amazingly like an Altai argali in coloration, but no one knows exactly how to classify it. The rare North China argali is also among all these argali photos that you see on the screen. Staying with argalis a bit longer, you're going to see a photo here of Hector and his Kurik tag and a couple of Humi argalis from Kyrgyzstan. You're also seeing a massive Altai argali with a heavily broomed side and another of perfect proportions. There are going to be 3 Gobi argalis from Mongolia, with the first dating back several years. Hector has the rare Karatau argali, and he's taken many Marco Polo sheep from Tajikistan, with the earliest that we have documented way back in 1995. As you would suspect, Hector's traveled to practically all the huntable Asian countries for sheep and goats, and will transition from the giant argalis down to some of the more diminutive wild sheep, such as the Afghan, Blandford, and the slightly larger Trans-Caspian Urial. You're going to see some of the other smaller sheep, such as European Mouflon, Kerman sheep, Leristan Mouflon, and Armenian mouflon. Moving right along to somewhat different Asian sheep, we find that Hector's taken a couple of Kamchatka snow sheep along with all the other snow sheep as well, including an extremely heavy-horned and rare Puturana snow sheep that he took in 1995. We'll finish up with some great examples of Hector's North American wild sheep, with the most recent one being his excellent California bighorn. And oh yes, there'll be his home country desert bighorn and a beautiful stone sheep from BC too. So with all of these mountain sheep, you should be getting an idea of why he is the 2014 recipient of the OVIS. But that's only half the story. To be an OVIS recipient, one has to have hunted the extremely difficult to take goats of the world. Hector has taken many markhors through the years, which of course include the Suleiman, Kabul, Kashmir, Aster, Bukharan, and even the extremely rare markhor hybrid known as the Chilton Wild Goat. He has taken multiples of most of the markhors, as this man loves to hunt the mountains. As for the ibex, you're going to see practically all of those, with many taken years ago. More recently, he took an extremely good Kri-Kri ibex. We mentioned Hector's mid-Caucasian tur earlier, but yes, he has the other two as well, the Kuban and Dagestan. We must mention the chamois of the world, and Hector has quite a few of those. But since we went to the campers last, we'll finish up with an amazing mountain hunting career by mentioning that Hector has taken both the rare Sirao and Gorao from China. Now you have about 3/4 of Hector's hunting career, but it's all the multiples he's gone back for that place him at the very top of the world's mountain hunters. We're going to have a rather extensive montage to highlight many of those. Hector and friends may have waited until after he was 80 to begin the documentation process, but GSCO is so very pleased to be able to honor this man as the OVIS recipient for 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join with us in giving one of the most accomplished yet humble of our peers a rousing ovation for a lifetime of hunting the world's mountains. Congratulations, Hector Cuellar.
Congratulations on your many accomplishments. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. All my beautiful family, all my very, very good friends, everybody, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely grateful to Dennis Campbell and his organization, the Grand Slim Club OVIS, for giving me the high distinction which I do not reserve. It could be brief. My life is just few words. I would say it has been a long safari, a long trip in which I always manage to hunt the beautiful and magnificent creatures living in the planet Earth. My trip has taken me from the frozen steppes of Siberia to the baked sands of the Sahara Desert. In Northern Africa, it is not a secret that my favorite hunt has been the mountain one, the wild sheep and goats from which I have collected for my share almost all the recognized species and some others. However, in this happy and playful life, the sun just trespassed the moon, and the sunset is more a reality than an expectation. But instead, to fear the darkness of the night, I shall try to use wisely the hours left of like doing what I have done with most pleasure, carrying on hunting. From the summit, I understand that it might have been happy when I climbed it steadily, kept the wind in my face, did a correct thought, used a good rest, hold the crosshair in the chest and squeezed the trigger. I had a new trophy. He gave me this life on a change of this immortality. Very often I had to spend the night shelterless, Those were long, cold nights, and nobody offered me only warm ones. Instead, from the peaceful seat by the campfire, where a sheep rib cake was getting toasted, I could enjoy millions of stars like God's eyes and feel that in my immensity of the universe, I am yet a loved creature of the Lord. I have loved the forests, savannas, and mountains, and they have loved me. The warmth of the morning and has touched my face, and now I can say like the poet, life, you don't owe me anything. Life, I owe you nothing. Life, where is my peace? Thank you very much.